somebody who I've been a fan of for quite a long time, a 4-time Grammy Award winner who's about to embark on a 64-city North American tour, the Strings Attached Tour, featuring costumes, props, a video wall, and for the first time ever, a full orchestra. Weird Al Yankovic. Good to see you,
Rich,
sir.
how are you, man?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good.
So, full string orchestra.
How about that?
For the first time.
Pretty crazy. Well, it's not for the first time we're touring with it. I did 2 shows at the Hollywood Bowl a couple of years ago, and it was such an amazing experience. I mean, it's always a big deal to hear songs like White and Nerdy and Dare to Be Stupid Live, but to hear with an 85-piece orchestra, that's when you really appreciate it.
That's when it really brings it to life.
Gives it the gravitas.
I mean, the Hollywood Bowl with this full string orchestra.
Yeah.
I mean, for some kid from California, as you are, I mean, that's got to be one of the pinnacles.
It's a huge deal. Absolutely, right? Yeah.
You know,
and we're not traveling with an orchestra for this tour, so we're going to use a local orchestra in every city.
Right. Now, of all the things that I could bring up, I'll bring this one up. You did a video about a coach press conference in recent days.
Right.
Which was absolutely brilliant, where it kind of was like a sports comedy send-up version of all the music that you've done in your career. How did you come up with this idea?
I wish I could take credit for that. That was actually written for me, and they cast me in it. But it was a lot of fun to do. I got to do my grizzled coach character.
Did you pull any video of any coaches at all, or did you pull up anyone in particular?
I can't say that it's modeled after anybody. I just did my basic grizzled
your
vibe.
Grizzled angle. Right. You were fantastic.
Oh, good.
It was as if you were like a Hall of Fame coach that actually came out there. It's just absolutely genius. And I never really played many sports in high school or anything like that. Or did you ever attempt anything here in California?
I wasn't really. I know this will be a big shock to you. I was more of a nerd in high school.
Okay.
I'm pretty ignorant about sports in general.
Okay.
I think it might be traumatic because like PE was the chance for people to beat up on the nerd.
So you were the kid picked last in gym. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, you've certainly found your right world, and you've been fantastic about it for so very, very long. How did you come up with Weird? Who called you Weird Al for the first time? How did that?
I think that was freshman year in college. I don't know exactly what the context was, but somebody referred to me as Weird Al, and then I picked it as an air name when I went on the college radio station because everybody had some kind of wacky nickname to be on the radio. So Weird Al seemed appropriate, and it just kind of stuck.
It did, and then you just decided you're gonna go with it from here all the way to
now.
The current day.
Now I'm living with it. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. It really. So when did you get your first break? What was your first break?
Well, first real break probably was getting on the Dr. Demento show because I was just a teenager. I was 14, 15 years old, and I sent him tapes in the mail, just little cassette tapes of stuff I recorded literally in my bedroom with an accordion.
Right.
Horrible songs and terribly recorded, but he thought that they were quirky enough or novel enough to give airtime to, so he played them on the radio and encouraged me to send in more.
So the Dr. Demento show is how you got started. That's amazing.
And he's not on terrestrial radio anymore, but he still does a weekly show online on drdemento.com.
So who's your greatest musical influences, Al?
Well, people that I heard on the Demento show, people, from the 40s and 50s and 60s, like Spike Jones and Alan Sherman, Tom Lehrer, Stan Freberg, people like that.
Alan Sherman.
Yeah, how about
Hello,
that?
Mother, Hello, Father.
Yep.
Here I am in Crank. I used to have Alan Sherman records.
Sure.
Big old huge vinyl records that I would
They were enormous.
Right. I just, I always enjoyed listening to his music and listening to all of his comedic takes on things too. So that's how you began
He was for a brief period of time, he was huge. And Alan Sherman had 2 #1 albums within like an 3 3 #1 albums within an 18-month period of time. I mean, he was unbelievably big, like around 60, 61, 62.
So which musician, Weird Al Yankovic here on the Rich Eisen Show, which musician that you sent up in song was the most appreciative, and which one was maybe the least?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that anybody was not appreciative because I did get their permission ahead of time. It's not like it's a big surprise when I'm doing the parody.
You got Michael Jackson's permission?
Oh, absolutely,
ahead of time?
yeah.
How did you do that?
Well, I didn't know Michael Jackson, but you contact him the way that you do. I went through my manager, and he contacted a Michael Jackson manager or a publicist or answer. I don't know how it worked exactly, but it got to Michael, and he signed off on it, and he actually had a great sense of humor about it. And there is, in fact, a contract that Michael Jackson signed that says that he is the co-writer of "Eat It."
He co-signed.
Yeah.
So did somebody have to play, hey, Michael, sit down. There's a guy named Weird Al Yankovic, and he's come up with a song called Eat It. And somebody pressed play for him, and he sat there and listened to it.
Well,
Do
I
you know
didn't
if that's
record.
the
I didn't
actual-
record it before. I don't even know if I'd written. I probably had written the lyrics at that point.
Okay.
But no, we don't record it unless we have permission, because otherwise it's a lot of effort and money wasted.
Okay. And that's the way you actually got permission through Did you ever meet Michael? Did you ever
I
come
did a
across-
couple times, and he was great. I mean, one time I actually gave him a gold album because my album Even Worse, which was based on his album Bad,
That's a great name.
it went gold. So I gave him a gold album for that, and he was very gracious. He was like, "Oh, another gold album for the pile. I'll just throw this over here."
Well, I mean, he's a co-writer. It's
Of
the
course,
least
of course.
That's the least you should be able to do is give him that.
My collaborator, you know.
Fantastic. And you got so nobody's been unappreciative, right? I mean,
No, I mean,
okay.
everybody's had a really great sense of humor about it.
Okay, that's great. And you got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Is it true that you requested your star be near two of your most favorite music icons, Roy Clark and Barry White? Is that a true story? Is that
It's true that I said that, and I do like Barry, and I do like Roy Clark and Barry White, but it was
Okay.
just kind of a goof because it just happened to be there.
That's who you're actually next
yes,
to.
Yes,
That's not too bad.
and I like to think that it was kismet. There was synchronicity, that it was meant to be.
Did you ever do a Barry White song? Did you ever do one?
No, but you know, the day is young.
The
Maybe
day
I'll
is
have one later on today.
Again, you got a huge tour coming up for sure. We might as well play Celebrity True or False straight up with Weird Al Yankovic here on the Rich Eisen Show. Go for it, please.
Celebrity True
Keeping it real.
or False.
Celebrity True or False. These are some items that we've read in articles about you or is online on like Wikipedia or any research to see if it's true or false.
Well, it's all got to be true.
Okay, well, let's see.
Okay.
In high school, you were a member of the Volcano Worship Club. True or false?
Volcano worshippers, yes, indeed. We did absolutely nothing. I basically started a club just so we can get an extra picture in the yearbook.
Oh my gosh! And there we actually have this photograph.
we are. That's us.
Well, what do you mean? You just
We did absolutely nothing. We just decided, let's start a club.
and you call it the Volcano Worship Club, and you snuck it through the yearbook maker goalie right there. Is that a dead body that's being covered up on the
Yeah,
bottom?
we found a dead body from the morgue and just dragged it out there.
Who are these other people that was in the Volcano Worship Club?
There's
Just people? Just friends of yours?
There's you don't know any of these people. What am I saying? These
but these are just people you went to school with
yeah,
and just
these
got
are
together?
fellow high school people.
All right. Fantastic. The Volcano. By the way, for all you young kids out there, you want to get an extra picture in the yearbook,
Start a club.
start a club. Call it the Volcano Worship, and there's absolutely nothing. There's no volcano. There's no worshiping.
There you go.
Very good. Next up, my Bologna, if you will, your parody of My Sharona was recorded in a bathroom across the hall from your college radio station where you were a DJ. True or
That's
false?
absolutely true. My Bologna, because I was 19 years old at the time, I couldn't afford a real recording studio. And as you know, bathrooms have that beautifully, that nice acoustically perfect tiled wall vibe, that Phil Spector wall of sound thing going on, you know. And it just, everything sounds better in a bathroom.
So I turned to my sound expert, my
sounds good.
DJ. By the way, I don't know if you know that's one of the greatest DJs around in Mike Del Tufo. Weird Al. So is that you can create your own Phil Spector wall of sound in a bathroom? Is it-
Bathrooms, everyone sounds the best when they're singing in a bathroom.
There
It's
you
the
go,
greatest
there you go.
sound studio ever.
Was that your first attempt? Was that your first
That
parody?
was actually the first, not the first song I ever recorded, but the first one that ever actually made it onto vinyl. That bathroom recording got released on Capitol Records. It was a hit on the Demento show, and then the members of the Knack heard it and said, "Hey, we should put this out," and that actually got released.
You are the sole writer for all of your songs, and for legal and personal reasons, you do not accept parody submissions or ideas from fans. However, there is one exception, and that's Madonna. True or false?
Yeah, that's true. She came up with the idea for Like a Surgeon and suggested it to a friend of hers, and her friend knew a friend of my manager, and it got back to me, and I thought, oh, okay, Madonna, sounds good.
Come on. So Madonna was a fan of your work and is like, how about trying
I don't know if she's a fan, but she
had to be.
was
If she's
familiar
like,
with it.
I got to get in touch with Weird Al Yankovic and tell him to say, turn like a virgin into like a surgeon.
She wasn't like, I got to get in touch with Weird Al, but she was musing out loud, and it got back to me.
All right, another one. Don McLean has confused his own song "American Pie" with your version during his recent concert performances. True or false?
Well, this got twisted a little bit. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think he ever actually sang my lyrics accidentally. But he told me once that sometimes when he sings the song, my lyrics start to go through his head.
That's amazing. That is fantastic. That you're in his head, Weird Al. And last year you co-wrote a New York Times crossword puzzle. Is that true?
That is true. With Eric Berlin, we wrote a cheese-themed crossword puzzle.
What do you mean?
Well, it was cheesy movies. So it was things like a Feta Attraction and a few Gouda men, that kind of stuff.
A few. You. By the way, you'd be a great sports headline writer.
Oh, would I?
Yes, you would. That's exactly the sort of thing that works out. You can cross to go from crossword puzzles to a few Gouda men.
Good to know. Good to know.
So what? Your tour starts in June, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, started in Florida. We're going all over North America. And dates are at weirdal.com.
Okay. At weirdal.com. And how are you enjoying going on the road? Weird Al?
We love it. It's a whole different kind of reality, but I'm there with my band, the same band that I've had since the early 80s.
Okay.
And we have a great time. We earlier this year, we did the ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised Vanity Tour, which was sort of like a very scaled down, no frills tour.
Yes.
And we're going from that to our biggest, most extravagant tour ever with a full orchestra and background singers and, and props and costumes, and it's going to be crazy.
That's fantastic. WeirdAl.com to go there right there. At Al Yankovic on Twitter and Alfred Yankovic on Instagram. Somebody has Al?
Apparently so.
Who's ever called you Alfred?
My parents.
That's it? Does anybody today call you Alfred in any way, shape,
Not
or
many,
form?
no.
Yeah, Weird Alfred doesn't have that sort of ring
No,
to
it doesn't work, does it?
No, what Weird Al does. Great to see you, Al.
You too, man.
Thanks for coming on anytime. This
pleasure.
has been a blast, and I've been a big fan for some time. So thank
you.
you for doing this. Okay, your phone calls when we come back here in advance of Joe Torre, Baseball Hall of Famer, and the man who ran Mariano Rivera out there all the time. That's next here on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.